webinar Wellness with Ayurveda, organized by Open Media Network, the media brand of RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. I'm thrilled to announce joining us on the panel today are Ms. Geeta Ramesh, Joint Managing Director, Kerali Ayurveda, and Mr. Arvind Varchasvi, Managing Director, Sri Sri Tattva. Dr. P.R. Ramesh, Senior Physician from Ayurvedashala. All our panelists today are accomplished individuals with successful businesses under their wing. Before we start, we have a special message from the Honorable Minister of Ayush, Mr. Shripad Nayak. Let's have a look.
Namaskar. I appreciate the Open Media Network initiative on organizing the webinar on Ayurveda. How to balance life by adopting the ancient remedies of Ayurveda in our daily life is of lot of relevance and significance, especially in the present situation. Since ages, Ayurveda has always proven its worth and given wonderful result in the treatment of various ailments, and practices of Ayurveda makes life simple and healthy. Today, the entire world is looking up to India for its ancient medicine practices of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is most effective in tackling the lifestyle related problems which are the major concern in today's world and in improving the general well-being of the people. Today, Open Magazine has collected a great panel of experts who will be elaborating on this further for the common good of all. I wish you all the best in the endeavor. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Ayurveda.
Open Media Network expresses its heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Minister of Ayush, Mr. Shripad Nayak. Thank you so much. So starting with the discussion, my first question is directed to Ms. Geeta and Mr. Arvind Varchasvi. Ayurveda is a rising global trend. Every year, India sees a lot of tourism based around the Ayurvedic treatments. So what are your viewpoints on wellness tourism in India?
It is, of course, it's growing in leaps and bounds, you could say, wellness tourism. And I'm very proud to say, Kerali as a company has taken wellness to Ayurveda through this channel internationally. We were the first people to have taken it, giving Ayurveda this route, because though Ayurveda was a science, we took it to a tourism route so that the international clients could understand it. Started that when the domestic market was not aware of what exactly Ayurveda is and its benefits. So we thought it's the international clients would be much better because that's what you come to see, First educate them, and now as Ayurveda is established globally and accepted globally, the need for Ayurveda is becoming more and more. I think the survey that is conducted by ET tells us that the Ayurveda is going to be growing robustly by 16% annually, and it's not just the services that is being going to be globally accepted, but it's also the products, and the products that you can say are like ethical products, the classical products, the proprietary products, and counter products for personal care and beauty care. All this put together, Ayurveda has a tremendous future, I think. And domestically, of course, the younger generation is looking more into health, and they're looking for regimes, positive lifestyle regimes, and nothing like Ayurveda.
Wonderful. Mr. Arvind, how exactly are the Ayurvedic products a part of this cycle in Ayurvedic tourism?
Very much for having me here at the outset. It's a very valid question that what you posed on right now. I'm sure that all of us would understand that over the last decade, Ayurveda and also the entire Ayush systems have seen a lot of relevance. The government of India has also recognized this trend that is following up globally, and also has created an entire ministry for all these sciences in the year of 2014. I'm happy to mention to you here that Sri Sri Tattva is spreading across Ayurveda to more than 54 countries to date.
That's wonderful.
And also, what would be important is that wherever we're sending out Ayurveda, wherever the ministries recognize it as a system of medicine, we're getting our products registered there as a medicine, and then later also getting our doctors to write bridge exams over there and practice there as doctors.
Okay.
I'm sure that all of us would understand that there has been perhaps, the messaging around Ayurveda and Ayush is that it's an alternative system and it still has a lot to prove. But I think over the last 5 to 6 years, with all the different scientific validations that are coming across in the science, especially Ayurveda, people all around the world are recognizing that this system might not necessarily be an alternative system of medicine, but actually an other system of medicine. So the messaging is extremely crucial over here, saying that I, as a consumer or customer, would like to make the choice as to what sort of a lifestyle do I need to lead. My panelists also made a mention about Ritucharya and also Dinacharya. What is Dinacharya? It's nothing but how do you lead your life? All of us know what to do. All of us know when to do it. But the question is whether we actually get across to doing it. Whether to do the right things at the right time. And that's what Dinacharya is about. So what Rishi Tattva has really done is that taken across Ayurveda and taken the essence and also championing it across the world to ensure a lay person or even the fence sitters or the bench sitters would understand, seeing that what this entire system of Ayurveda is about. So when I actually come and tell you, all right, Ayurveda, if I start telling you Sanskrit acronyms, you might not really understand. But if I were to tell you that, all right, how's your digestion happening? What are you eating? Are you sleeping on time? So this sort of education really matters. And I think that this is what Sri Tattva has done under the inspiration of Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankarji to see that how we could make Ayurveda and the entire Ayurveda systems current. One more thing that what I wanted to also mention to you is that just about yesterday, Yale has come out with a research paper. A study done at the Yale found that by practicing Sudarshan Kriya breathing techniques from the Art of Living, students reported improvements in 6 areas of well-being: depression, stress, mental health, mindfulness, positive effect, and also social connectedness. Now, you actually made a mention over here that, how is Ayurveda relevant and why is it internationally so popular? So when you look at Ayurveda or the Ayush systems, here in India, we never, bifurcate them into verticals. We always say that we take everything together. So in the olden days, Ayurveda and yoga went across, so much together. And yoga is just not about doing a couple of exercises, but actually a way of life. So I think that, when India is given so much to the world when it comes to architecture, especially food, you come down here to South India, you would find thousands of varieties of just sweets just in one state. Absolutely. So I think, India has given, and these two systems, specifically Ayurveda and also yoga, are gems of the country. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Arvind. What I can successfully conclude from this discussion is that in order to have an Ayurveda-centric lifestyle, we essentially need to wake up early, do our yoga, eat according to the season, eat fresh food, be in connection with nature, and just adapt the overall system. Moving ahead, my next question is also directly to Mrs. Geeta, you, Mr. Arvind, and Dr. P.R. Ramesh. What are the detox methods that we can adopt at home and practice them?
Detox at home. Okay, so you could say detoxing at home basically will be first initially with food. So you have to eat the right food at the right time. Eating food is essential. And during seasons, eat food that has herbs like ginger, garlic, pepper, turmeric, and things like that. So detoxifying your body. And doing Abhyangam by yourself. Abhyangam is nothing but application of oil on the body from head to toe, which again tells us in our Dinacharya that you have from top to toe, which is a must according to Ayurveda if you want to live a healthy life with a disease-free body. And that's one of the best method of detoxifying your body. So anyone who does these things every day automatically detoxifies, but people are not following this, and hence they require some detoxifications to be done at their home. They can then do it for a few days. Now you see, even then it's beneficial. So Ayurveda says you have to do it every day, and you don't do it and you just do for a week or so, you find a lot of difference in the body. Your circulation improves, your immunity system improves, your skin starts getting its glow, and food and this diet and sleeping in time, getting up in time, having the right amount of food, eating fresh food, no stale food kept and reheated and eaten, and eating in portions, the right portion, or be too full. It should be only 3/4 full, and all the 6 days that is required in your diet should be there. So doing all this, you can easily detoxify at home. But having said all this, I think it's best to meet a good Ayurvedic physician who can correct you and see what is right for your dasha, because everything's independent. Yeah. So you have to get to a doctor, Ayurvedic physician, and take his advice and then do it at home.
So, ma'am, according to you, we should oil our bodies from top to bottom, eat in small portion, eat from the season. Okay, moving ahead to Dr. P.R. Ramesh.
One thing, what we need to understand, how the toxins are, accumulating in our body. Because the main thing is the lifestyle, as correctly the madam was explaining. The kind of food, what we eat, we are far away from our traditional diet and all. So we add all kinds of irrational combinations. So there can be a lot of toxins. And the stress factor, another aspect, then over dependence of chemical medicines. That also, because partially digested things are circulating all over our body, and the seasonal shuddhi we are not doing. So all these can accumulate lot of toxins in you. And first thing I would like to tell you is that mind and body, these two things are inseparable linked. That is why the psychosomatic approach Ayurveda always discusses about. So first thing I would like to tell is that actually simple fasting. Simple fasting is a very great remedy for detoxification. That with fluids or fruit juices, that is for the body. But for our mind also has to be detoxified. How do we do that? So that actually, if you do meditations, if you think about yourself, think positively, and shed off all the bad thoughts about ruining others' life or doing some other things, and that kind of thing also is a detoxification. So tell you is that actually Sadvritam. Sadvritam is something that actually we love everybody. Your words, your thoughts, your deeds be pure. So that's a kind of detoxification. Another aspect in Ayurveda is that actually simply in Islam, Snehanam, Swedanam, and Shuddhi. That is the procedure generally Ayurveda adopts. So for a normal person, simply medicated ghee or simple ghee, cow's ghee, can be in small quantity taken for 3 days, 4 days. Then have a hot water bath after having an abhyangam. Medicated oil can be used or simple oil can be used. And then the 3rd day, 5th day or 7th day, you can have a virechan with Abhipatikar Churna or something like that. This is a simple detoxification procedure. So cleansing the mind and body is the nutshell of detoxification.
So it's such a beautiful thought. You just don't keep fast for your body, but you have to keep fast for your brains also. Cleanse yourself of any sort of negative thoughts and emotions. So thank you so much, sir, for that nugget. Moving on, Mr. Arvind Varchasvi, how can we
both the doctors have spoken a lot about physical detoxification. So while we have physical hygiene and also dental hygiene, I think the next talked about thing is mental hygiene. So this is something that what yoga and meditation bring across, and especially during the lockdown period, if you were to see the only solution that what people could come out of stresses is that of meditation. One particular thing that what I would really like to emphasize on is that people are recognizing the role of meditation in terms of detoxifying the mind. While we do so much for our body in terms of physical detoxification, Ayurveda per se perhaps is the only system of medicine that also gives so much importance to mental well-being as well. And this is something that what India has really championed across the world. When you look at how to market, perhaps you would look at the Americans. If you were to look at punctuality, you would look at the Japanese. When you look at precision, you would see German. But when it is with regards to spirituality, and perhaps where science ends and that's where spirituality begins, is people look at India. So here, when it comes to any sort of a detox, that what you would ask me to recommend is that there would be a combination of both. While detoxifying your body, it's always better that you meet one of our doctors. They are available on www.shrishitattva.com. You could meet across a doctor from there and find out what is your body type and get detoxed. But when it comes to mental detoxification, I would certainly recommend everybody to meditate every day. One particular statistic that what I can also give you is that during the lockdown days, especially here in India, which we had for almost about 2 months or so, daily across 156 countries, people would join in Gurudev for an online meditation. So we had close to 4 million people meditating every day. What does this really mean, Priya? That people are really wanting to know what is good for their mind and for their body. People are recognizing, because if you were to look at 5 or 10 years back, if you were to talk about stress, people say, hey, what are you talking about? That's really not relevant in my life. I'll attend it to it later. I need to do my work. But today people are realizing the more stressed people are not able to work. And that's where mental fitness is also so very, very important. See, it's like this, right? When your mind is weak, you really cannot do anything. When your mind is stressed, whatever you would like to do, you cannot do that. So that's where in Ayurveda treatment, there's also a time that is given that you need to spend with yourself. You're there in a room, you might get bored, but imagine if you get bored with yourself in just about 5 or 10 minutes or about an hour. Imagine how boring you must be for other people. So Ayurveda really makes you, dwell within and also understand yourself. And these are, very small things that what people do not know about Ayurveda. They're very subtle, but very profound. And yes, when it comes to the aspect of detoxifying, please do, visit one of our doctors. It's the Ayurveda system is extremely customized. So what's really good for you is good for you. And at what ritu as well, and at what seasons, that's extremely important.
Okay, for someone, one of our viewers, if they want to have a detox at home, they can just start with a simple 5-minute meditation, once a week fasting, and once a week full body massage. And maybe with that, they can start and experience the benefits of Ayurveda. So that's one thing to take away from. Moving on, my question is to Dr. P.R. Ramesh. So those of our viewers who are watching this, and if they want to assess if their doshas are out of balance, so what are the cues that they should look out for?
Actually speaking, variations are expected in these. When you are perfectly all right, there is a simple definition in Sushruta, which is exactly like in World Health Organization definition. It is actually when you are samadosha samagnisha samadhatu malakriya prasanna atmendriya mana prastaita vidiyade. That is the word. It is simply saying that health is not simply the absence of disease, but if you have a good mind, healthy mind and social activities, then only a person can be called prasta or disease-free. So here comes interrupt. For example, I'll tell you, if your vision, Panchendriyas, vision, hearing, taste, and skin touch, this is one aspect that actually, if impairment is observed, That is there. And in Dhatu, because if you are feeling that your blood levels are low and you are feeling giddiness and that kind of aspects, and clarity of intellect, these are all certain things that in common day-to-day life we observe. If you go to dosha level, if you have pain, if you have such things, that is, of course, an indication of vata predominance in your body. Whereas if your digestion is altered, or if you have excessive appetite, and if you have a hormonal imbalance, that is a pitta predominant condition, pitta vitiation we can expect. And if there is swelling, if there is a dullness, have itching, and that kind of activities, if you are observing in your body or any part of the body, definitely the kapha predominance is there. But always it is better that you take an opinion, because when you go for a self-treatment is always not a good idea. You can assess yourself, but always better you have a family physician and discuss with them and go as per his advice.
Okay.
This is in a nutshell, right?
Definitely.
And now, again, just like Arvind ji told, Ayurvedashala also has started the consultations. So they can log in and have consultation with our doctors, and they can take a decision. Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Ramesh, for that wonderful answer. Moving ahead, here's my final question, and my questions to all three of you. We all are living a certain kind of lifestyle, and we have been living a certain way for the past years. But as of how we stand in the times today, the fast consuming market, I want a solution or maybe a way that we can adapt in our everyday life, which can actually help us in boosting our immunity.
So, okay, immunity boosting, that's the in thing now because of this COVID-19. Everyone is looking out for immunity boosting. So certain things that you can do, as I already said, is add, herbs to your diet, especially pepper and garlic. It's a very good combination. Having cloves, cinnamon, and dalchini. All that can be added to your diet. And on-the-counter products, you can say Chyawanprash, Dashmula Arishtam. You can have Agasti Rasayanam, especially in this cold seasons that is there. To remove the phlegm and things that collects into in your chest and those things like that. And these few products, Vilvadi Gulika is also supposed to be very good for the system. And these are a few of the Ayurvedic products I could think of telling that you could use for building up. Yes.
Because immunity, according to Ayurveda theory, there is Sahaja and Sahaja Balam and Kalaja Balam, and then the Yuktikrita Balam. These are the three types of immunity Ayurveda discusses about. Sahajam is by birth itself we are immune to so many things. And Kalajam is seasonal variation according to our age, hormonal changes, so that also improves your immunity. Yuktikrita immunity is what we are making. For that, for a person to be healthy, certain natural things, good water, pure air, pure nutritious diet, good sleep, stress-free mind, and having a vibrant metabolism. These are the basic exercises. These are the basic things for improving immunity, not medicine. And then, just like Geeta madam was telling, the spices, and be in your traditional diet. Traditional diet actually helps a lot to improve your immunity with lot of spices. And then comes the Shuddhi part, because Ayurveda discusses about Shuddhi. That is what the seasonal. I'll give you an example. In particular Ayurveda college, we have done an experiment. In seasonal, we were discussing about Ritu Shuddhi. For example, in Varsha Ritu, there is one particular group we have given Ritu Amalaka. This is an immunity booster. And the other group didn't get anything at all. And the results were really wonderful because during Varsha Ritu, those who have undergone this treatment have very little effect. Same way in the Sharad Ritu. Sharad Ritu, according to Ayurveda, the Pitta aspects improve. The Pitta Kopa improve, increases in Sharad Ritu. There, a simple, because Mahatikta Kritam was used in one group, a ghee, that is Nehanam, then the Swedanam, a Ushnambu Snanam, that is a hot water bath. Then a Virejanam with Avipatti. In those people, their immune system, their free radicals were very less, and their, immune boosting naturally happened by this Shuddhi. So these are the methodology Ayurveda always discusses about to improve immunity. Having a good mind also, because
Good mind.
a healthy mind helping others. If you are always negative, if your attitude is always negative, if you are always gussa aate hain, sabhi logon se, so then your immunity will be very less. And if your children are having always living in a very tense atmosphere, immunity will be low. So this is very, very important.
I gather.
Immunity is the in subject right now all across the world. At Shri Tattva, we've really seen whole great interest in all our immunity building products. I'm very happy to note that the demand for these products have really gone across multifold. All across the world for our products. And one thing that what I would like to also mention across over here is that along with immunity, there are also other products that go across in Ayurveda that also help building immunity. So one thing is that to maintain your immunity, but also there are other things that would create immunity naturally. As what Dr. Warrior also mentioned, that right now the aspect of creating immunity is just not about only popping pills of medicine, but also attending to your lifestyle, getting up in the morning, ensuring that you do some yoga, you do some exercises, be active. Even during lockdown times, you go across to your hall, you get up from your bed early, do some physical, exercise in and around your house. Ensure that you give prime time to meditation and also yoga. Normally we don't give we give prime time to all our work, right? We say, no, work is very important. I have to ensure that all my deadlines are met. So while we actually give prime time to all other things, the moment we start giving prime time to our body and mind, we'll be able to give much better back to the world. So definitely, a couple of our immunity boosting products that have really seen a lot of demand over the last, 2-3 months is, our Shakti drops, turmeric plus, which has a combination of turmeric and also pepper in it. So pepper actually boosts the ability of turmeric being absorbed in your body. So this is something that what we've seen, and we are also conducting multiple clinical trials also on a lot of our medicines, and we've also registered all these trials across with CTRI. We're seeing a lot of really a lot of demand, both for consultations as well as for immunity. So Ayurveda is perhaps the only system that does not just say, all right, your immunity is low, okay, take this medicine. No, it's not that. They study your body, they study your mind, they study what is your body type, and then later give across medicines to you. So, and also one more thing that what I want to mention to you is that while there's an entire aspect of immunity and interest being built in, say, Ayurveda specifically, a whole lot of international health authorities are also recognizing Ayurveda as a system of medicine. So right now, Sri Tattva, we've got our plant recognized by ANMAT, that's in Argentina, all the way there by the health authorities as a medicine in terms of what we manufacture. So a whole lot of interest is being generated all across the world, and I think Ayurveda and the Ayush systems per se are really here to stay. So a whole lot of research is being done on both aspects of medicines, but also on meditation as well. And that's what India has really championed.
So just knitting our whole conversation today, the idea of wellness with Ayurveda is actually to be in sync with nature. Rise early with the birds, have yoga or physical activities involved in your day, have some prime time for meditation, eat from the seasons, eat the spices that are available locally, be in connection with the nature, take the fresh air, and just change our lifestyle altogether.
That we need to change it. Eating an avala a day keeps the doctor.
So a wonderful parting thought here, an amla a day and keep the doctor away. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh, for that wonderful parting thought. And thank you all of you for joining us on the panel today. I hope it was interesting for you and all of those who are watching at home. I hope you have taken away the idea of how Ayurveda can help us in living a well-balanced life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Priya.